So hello students, today we will start the next biogeochemical cycle, that is carbon cycle. So when I talk about carbon cycle, this carbon is in the form of carbon dioxide. You cannot talk about the carbon in single or elemental carbon. We are talking about carbon dioxide, that is CO2. So what is this carbon cycle? The cyclic movement of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is called as carbon cycle. So any biogeochemical cycle, if you talk about, it is related to one or the other element. Like now we are talking about carbon. So carbon, in the sense, it is the cyclic movement of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Like we know the percentage of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is 0.04%. Now if I ask you whether this percentage is constant now, no, it's not constant. The level of carbon dioxide is day by day increasing in the atmosphere. That means there is a disturbance in our biogeochemical cycle. So if there is any sort of disturbance in the cycle, there will be a disastrous effect. So when I say disastrous effect, you know how pollution is increasing, how the uses of different vehicles are increasing and releasing more and more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, and you know how the greenhouse effect, we are going to talk about greenhouse effect, we are going to talk about the global warming, how these are the side effects, you can say these are the disastrous effects of the increase in the level of carbon dioxide in the nature or in the atmosphere. If it would have remained constant like 0.04, there would be no effect. For that there are so many other solutions like planting of trees, conservation of nature, then using more bicycles rather than going for the vehicles. So if we decrease the level of vehicles, we can even control the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So we will talk about these effects later on. First we will talk about this carbon in general. This carbon, what we are talking about, this carbon element, it is present either in the elemental form. Elemental form means as a single element. It may be present in soot. You know, soot means that after burning of coal and all, you get that black soot-like substance. Soot. Then we have diamond. You know, diamond is also one form of carbon. Diamond. Then we have graphite. Graphite, I think we use it in pencils. So graphite also is one form of carbon. So this is elemental form of carbon. It may be present in elemental form or it may also be present in combined state. Combined state means there is carbon, along with carbon there is some other element together. Like we see here, CO2. CO2 means carbon dioxide. So carbon is present in combination with oxygen. So carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide. So this is combined state. So carbon is present either in elemental form or it is present in the combined state. Now we should talk about what is the use of this carbon. This carbon is the main component in our body or in all living organisms. Carbon is present mainly in proteins. So whatever proteins are there, all the proteins are made up of carbon. Then carbohydrates, you know, carbohydrates like glucose, starch, all the components, they have carbon in them. Then we have fats. So this is another one biological molecule, fats. They also have carbon. Then we have nucleic acid like DNA, RNA. So carbon is a component even in DNA and RNA. Finally, even vitamins. In vitamins also we have carbon. So these are the uses of carbon. How it is useful for biological purposes. They are the components of proteins, carbohydrates, fats, nucleic acids and vitamins. So these are the uses of carbon. Now if we talk about how this carbon is cyclically moving, you have to come to the page 175. You can see a cycle there. You can see that figure 4. Very beautifully they have described or they have represented the cyclic form of this carbon, how it is moving. So firstly, we should talk how this carbon which is present in the atmosphere is getting incorporated into plants. You know, plants prepare food in the presence of what? Sunlight, and carbon dioxide is used. So this inorganic carbon, that is carbon dioxide, is getting turned into the organic form. Organic form means, you know, it is glucose. Food is produced. We say plants prepare food in the presence of sunlight by the process of photosynthesis. So in this photosynthesis, carbon dioxide also is used. So this carbon dioxide is getting converted into organic form. Organic form means it is glucose, C6H12O6. So your carbon dioxide getting turned into this food. Food means glucose. So that is one form of carbon dioxide. Who is converting this inorganic form into organic form? Plants. By which process? By photosynthesis. Photosynthesis mainly occurs in plants. There are some blue-green algae, phytoplanktons which also undergo photosynthesis to produce the organic form or to produce the food. Food in the form of what? Starch or glucose or carbohydrates. Later, this will be used up by the animals. Okay. So, this food is being used up by the animals. That is heterotrophic organisms. They depend on these plants. That is, plants are the producers, we say. Producers. Why are they called as universal producers? Plants. Because they prepare the food. They prepare the food in the presence of sunlight using carbon dioxide. And that food is used up by some heterotrophs like animals. So now animals are taking, see the cycle there. Carbon dioxide from the atmosphere came to plants. From plants it is going to animals. Then animals undergo respiration. Human beings, animals, they undergo respiration. You know, respiration means you take in oxygen, give out which gas? Carbon dioxide. See the cycle there. So animals by the process of respiration gives out carbon dioxide. Okay. There are some animals which die. You know, when they die, they decay. So some of the animals, they die and decay. They decay. Decay in the sense after their death, their body is getting buried in the soil. And after their death, their decaying also releases which gas? Carbon dioxide. See, these are the different sources in which carbon dioxide is released. Okay, is getting released to what? Atmosphere. So that gas which is released is carbon dioxide. So here respiration also is a source for the release of carbon dioxide back to the atmosphere. So here you can see the movement of carbon dioxide in a cyclic manner from atmosphere to the plants, from plants to the animals, from animals back to the atmosphere or to the nature. So this cyclic movement of this carbon in the form of carbon dioxide. Okay, so this cycle we are calling it as carbon cycle. Okay, so this carbon cycle. Again, there are some other sources of this carbon dioxide like factories. You know, factories, they release gas. Okay, which gas or which waste gas we say? Carbon dioxide. Sometimes carbon monoxide. Okay, factories also release gas. So this gas is getting again back into the atmosphere. Then we have some fuels, burning of fuels in the sense petrol, diesel, all these natural resources. Okay, all that burning of the fuel also releases carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide into the atmosphere. So this is the source from where we are going to get back the atmosphere. We get back carbon dioxide. When you look at figure 4, even there is a mention of some volcanoes. Volcanoes also sometimes, it's a natural disaster of pollution or natural causes of pollution. That volcano releases lava. In that lava there is so much of gas. Which gas? Carbon dioxide. That also gets way into the atmosphere. So in this way you can see the movement or the cyclic movement of carbon dioxide, right? So now when we talk about carbon cycle, we should know how the level of carbon dioxide is increasing in the present situation. You can see so many environmentalists, okay, ecologists speaking about this climate change, trying to find out a solution for this climatic change. The basic reason is pollution. So this pollution there are different causes of pollution. Mainly we are talking about carbon dioxide. When we talk about carbon dioxide, this gas is mainly released by the burning of the fuels. So there is a very urgent need to bring awareness about the plantation of trees. You heard about Harita Haram program, green, clean and green. Okay, so all these are the small steps or the baby steps taken for the conservation of the nature or conservation of our trees, bringing back, that is afforestation. And we have to also look after the survival of the trees. Survival of the trees, only planting of the trees will not help. There is a need to look after the trees so that they will become the reason where we can stop the ill effects of pollution. So this is human intervention. So human intervention means there is human who is there in the center there, who can go for deforestation or for afforestation. So there are two ways in which human can take a selection or human beings can make a choice. Either by deforestation, if he is going for deforestation means he is destroying the lungs of, that is lungs means what I say is our trees. Trees are our lungs. Followed? With these trees you get in so much of oxygen. So if human beings are going for deforestation, he is causing destruction for himself. If he is going for afforestation and looking after the trees' survival, he can generate more and more free supply of oxygen. So the choice is ours. So let us plant more and more trees. Thank you.